on starting with the payment side. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so we learned pretty early on that the payment piece was really almost the more complicated piece, and I'll tell you why. So as we started working with customers and as we were getting their purchase orders, what we started to realize was when we would submit them invoices, the customer wasn't able to pay them for various reasons. So as we learned more and started to dive more into details, we started to learn there's specific criteria that a customer needs that's not just like on the purchase order necessarily to invoice that customer in a proper way. So like one specific example is, let's say a customer needs to pay and they need a GL code on that invoice. Well, we could do that in a few ways. One, we could store it in our system, or we could tell the customer, why don't you put that on the purchase order, and then TradeCentric can just session link it for us so that we don't have to store it on our side. It's literally just, we submit the invoice, TradeCentric session links the GL code to it, submits it to the customer, and it gets paid. And that's just one example of how we do it. But another thing that I think is very valuable with starting with the invoice is it makes you ask the right questions, and it drives efficiency through the whole organization, because in a real world scenario, the e-com team and the payments or the invoicing team probably not talking to one another. But if the invoice team is saying, hey, we're needing these fields, why don't you, as you're building your e-commerce platform, make sure you're getting them as well? It drives much better conversation throughout the organization.